Dominican Republic, a true tropical paradise, both below the surface and above. A place that so many more would love to come and visit or to reside and invest in, as long as they know they'll be appreciated, respected, and be safe. But is it safe?
Hi everyone, Mr.T back again from DR. Thanks for tuning in. As you can see from the title, it's called Get the Gringo. Now what do I mean by that? Well, there seems to be a lot of people who want to know whether this country is dangerous. To that I have to say no in terms of walking around in public. It's probably one of the safest places on the planet. Where it gets dangerous for us foreigners is when things go wrong, which they do in life. That could be relationship split-ups. It could be employment issues with staff. It could be a construction or real estate deal gone bad, or accidents in the traffic. When these things happen, it seems like there's a very high percentage of the locals who just instantly wants to join the scam and victimize the victim even further. And that's disgusting, and that must stop for this place to improve. Now, don't just take my word for it. We're going to hear from a few people who's felt the hard end of that stick. Here we go. Thank you, Israel, for commenting here.
Yes, one of my situations that occurred to me, I had a case of the mosquito bite, which was diagnosed as being dengue. Upon entering one of the local hospitals here, I issued my insurance card from America. They told me they didn't accept insurance cards from America. But Santo Domingo, you can get service through your American insurance, etc., etc. Mm-hmm. However, after being diagnosed with the dengue, I was given an IV, put into not a private room, not even a semi-private room, but a room with 4 people in a room. Upon doing some thorough investigation, all they were giving me was IV. Food was horrible. And then all of a sudden, I get a bill for 36,000 pesos for 2 days in the hospital, which was equivalent to about $900. That's without blood work. Blood work, another 10,000 pesos. So in essence, anybody that's in the Dominican, that's enjoying themselves and having a peaceful and pleasant time, the minute the incident occurs, you become the victim. Not in the victim in sense as the incident, but all predators that prey on the gringos or the Americans or the Canadians or whatever here in this area will take full advantage of you, unbeknownst that you're thinking that everybody is square business and straight up with you. But it is more deception here than any place I've ever been in the world, and I've been all over the world. So my advice to you, come and enjoy yourself, be peaceful, enjoy the people, but if you get into any situation here, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg.
One question. Don't you think it's also vital that anybody who comes here for any length of time, they need to connect with an experienced or a few experienced expats who has the connections. So if something did go wrong, they can be guided to the correct people who's not going to screw them over basically for money.
Absolutely. This is the demographics of being in a third world country and not really knowing how to operate. Anytime that you're traveling, one of the first things you should do is make that connection, as you said, with people who have been here, have gone through some things. Other than that, you're at limbo for anything. You're a prey. In other words, it's like never get in a shark tank with a bunch of sharks, especially when you're a minnow, because you wind up being the meal. So
Good point.
My advice to you is come and enjoy yourself, but be real circumspect of anybody and anything that goes on here.
Thanks, Israel.
Signing off.
Cheers. Have a great day.
Likewise.
See ya.
Now, especially on the north coast or any of the tourist locations, it's not just a high percentage of the Dominicans that are willing to quickly join a scam to victimize the gringos. It's also many private hospitals, lawyers, police, politicians, and even judges. And it's really hypocritical, as if any of these folks went overseas and they ended up with similar problems the gringos face here, then they would expect the police, insurance, health, and legal system to protect them to bring justice their way. However, that's certainly not the case over here, and here's another example of that.
With me here I have Karl Weiss. And you're from Germany originally?
Germany, yes.
And you've had one of those situations where you wish you had landed on a legal safety net, but you fell into the Dominican cobweb. What exactly happened?
On Saturday Eastern 2 years ago, I hit a cow in front of my house, and to get there slightly injured, and if I came back the cow was dead, and the owner took his cow away. A couple of months later, my wife called me and said there's a police at my place watching for me, and I have to come immediately at home because of the police would like to talk to me. It was on a Friday, and then he explained me that I have a lot of problems with the owner of the cow because he made legal claim against me that I shot his cow with 6 bullets in his head and 1 in the leg, and has stolen a couple of other cows and hired Haitians to take away the dead cows what I killed. So a long story that means for 1 cow who damaged my car, I'm getting insured that I have to pay for the cow. I have to go to the court. I was 4 days in prison, and I have to pay a fine about 180,000 peso to the government and 100,000 to the owner of the cow. So by the way, meanwhile, I spent more than 200,000 peso only for lawyers to get out of this situation, but until now we have no situation that I'm free and I'm still guilty.
Now, the interview with Carl was fairly long, so I'm going to speed it up a bit. However, the conclusion is that he's still fighting this corrupt nonsense. He's still paying lawyers, and he's an ongoing victim of a system that squeezes everything out of him they possibly can. Yet, here's a few final words from Carl before we move on.
So how many years have you been here, Carl?
Now over 17 years.
So in the 17 years, I assume this must be the worst situation that you've had, but you must have had a few more.
Yeah, always if you have any problem in the traffic, you have an accident or whatever, if you are feeling you are not guilty, but in this country you're always guilty.
Thank you so much, Carl.
You may or may not have heard me mention in previous documentaries that in Dominican Republic, you're mainly going to meet 2 types of people. One is the haves, and the other one is the have-nots. And there's not much of a middle class. So the have-nots wants what the haves have. And they'll either steal it, hustle for it, beg for it, bribe you. Yes, they've got thousands of ways to try to get the money out of both foreigners and their own well-off folks. It's nasty, but it's something all visitors should be aware of. So now we move on to a nice American gentleman who discovered the dangers of being involved in a traffic accident in DR. Here's Malik.
I'm here with Malik at the Treehouse Lounge on Sosua Beach. Thanks for commenting again. You're in the last video as well.
That's right.
Please tell us your story, what actually happened to you, and how you found out very quick that it all became your fault even though it wasn't.
Okay, November 2014, I have a SUV, Nissan Murano SUV, and I was driving down the local street, Pedro Placente, here in Sosua, and I was making a easy left turn right at the Europa, and I felt this big boom on my driver's side of my vehicle. Turns out it was a young man driving a motor scooter who hit the side door, bounced off, and he was somewhat injured. Immediately, people started gathering around, local Dominicans gathering around the incident, and one particular individual, a taxi driver nearby, he got involved in acting as the kid's representative. And as such, he started demanding that I do something immediately to aid this kid, that I find that if the police was to come, I would end up paying more money. So I should try to resolve the issue right away. And I refused. I have insurance here, and I figured I shouldn't have to worry about doing that. That exasperated this taxi driver acting on this kid's behalf. Meanwhile, the kid himself, he's not really talking that much. He's still stunned from the accident and slightly hurt. Basically what happened was I refused to give up any money, and then The taxi driver got angry, went to his car, pulled out a machete, and started menacing me with the machete. And I basically backed off. I went inside the hotel of Europa, waited for him to kind of calm down or whatever. He didn't come inside the hotel. Shortly afterwards, the police nationals showed up. They came on the scene. I explained to them what had happened, that this guy pulled a machete on me, the kid's hurt, blah, blah, blah. The police nationals ignored all of that. They didn't care about any of that. What they did was took the kid, put the kid in my vehicle, and then I end up going up to Amet police station with one of the police nationals sitting next to me in my vehicle. We get up to Amet police station, and the crowd that was at Europa all drove up there in their own scooters and cars up there to support this kid and fabricating the stories of what had happened during the course of that incident. I had to call somebody, a local Dominican that I knew of, to kind of come up there and kind of smooth things out, calm the crowd, and speak on my behalf, which he did. He came up there, and basically things kind of got squashed to a certain extent. What ended up happening, basically, is I had to pay $10,000 pesos towards my insurance company for my deductible to get my car fixed. Even though the kid hit my vehicle, and it should have been the other way around, where his insurance company should have paid for my damage, that didn't happen like that. In addition to this, I found out something else. My insurance company, they were concerned about any further liability that might be brought upon them due to this young kid and his mother. So what they did was they sent a representative a few days later that would offer the kid and his mother 10,000 pesos to drop any further action with the insurance company, my insurance company. So basically, it was a lose-lose for me. I had to pay 10,000 pesos to get my vehicle fixed. The insurance company paid 10,000 pesos to them to drop the case. And basically, I had a whole bunch of people that were basically all against me at the time of that incident. You wouldn't have known any of this until once an incident happens, the Gringo is being closely scrutinized, and everybody's there to back up the local person. Whatever the incident is, whether they're in the right or the wrong, they're going to be supported, and you're not going to have any support on your side. So that's my story.
Thank you so much again.
And next up, we're going to hear from an American gentleman called Rod, who travels a lot to especially Dominican Republic and the Philippines. So let's get his insights on the differences in the two cultures.
What's the difference in culture between, say, let's take the Filipino people and the Dominicans?
I think the Filipinos are more humble opposed to the Dominicans because of education. Their educational system over there, everybody wants an education in the Philippines. Not everyone is educated there, but the majority of them want an education. So you find regular workers that's educated as far as college graduates that work in a fast food place, or they work in a factory or something. Over here, it's a little bit different, where you kind of have to force some people over here to go. It's educated people over here, but not as many as the Philippines. So they treat you a little bit different, where they have more respect for you. Where in the Philippines, they say yes, sir, no, sir, or yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. In the Dominican Republic, they look at you as a payday. You're coming from another country.
So this is quite a heavy topic we are covering here. Get the Gringo. And we've, in this video leading up to this clip, seen different examples, I heard different examples from people who's been in a bad situation, then they got victimized even further. Why would you say Dominicans do that up here, especially on the North Coast?
Well, I think that the difference, the reason that Dominicans do what they do is because of they don't have it. They're poor. They're so poor. They don't see any way out other than to have a foreigner come in and support them. They don't have a social security system. They don't have a welfare system. They don't have any type of system set up here for the people who, when they get older, they can get taken care of. But they automatically assume, coming from another country, that you have it made. You're rich because you can afford the plane ticket over here. So, okay, say from Baltimore to Dominican Republic, for me it would cost $450 to $600 first class, depending on the time of the season. So it's not real expensive, but $400 to $600 for a Dominican is a lot of money. So they think we go home and it's land of the free, home of the brave, when we have to really hustle and work to get enough money to come over here and enjoy the living that we do live.
A guy yesterday said to me, a lot of Dominicans who go to US are hypocritical because when bad stuff happens to them in the US, they cry out loud and say, this is not fair, this is not right, I deserve this, I should be treated in this or that way. That's pretty hypocritical if they are willing to victimize the victim down here, isn't it?
Well, when Dominicans first arrive in America, they think that money is handed out in America. They don't know that we work hard in America. In other countries, we work hard to get what we have. We have to work the 9 to 5. The majority of Americans are poor. They're poor. Middle class is almost gone in America. So it's either you're wealthy or you're poor. So it's really not a big middle class. So when the Dominicans get there with no education, they're uneducated, they don't speak English. The majority of them, they get over there, so they're limited on what they're going to do. So when they get over there, they can only be a certain thing, McDonald's or a low-end job that they get paid. Even though it's more money than they would make over here, it's just the cost of living is more expensive in America opposed to here. So when they get there, reality set in, okay, this is not like I thought it was, because they look on YouTube and they see other people and they see us come down here and we spend money maybe, and they think that, okay, I can go over there and I can get rich. You can get rich, but you have to work for it. So they think that it's just given to us. So it's kind of disrespectful to us when we come down, where they look at us a certain type of way, where they look at us like, okay, we can give them half of what we have or all of what we have and then go back and get it again. It doesn't work like that.
Thank you, Rod, for being on camera.
No problem, Mr.
Great
T.
comments. Cheers.
To bring some balance to the equation, I won't just be interviewing foreigners. Up shortly, I'll also be talking to a Dominican gentleman. However, before we get to that, we'll first jump across to Mexico to hear from a Canadian traveler who opted going there this time rather than returning to Dominican Republic, as he got sick of the many scams. Here's Tony.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's Tony here, originally from Canada, presently in Mexico at the time here. We just got here, and I'll be here for a couple months. Typically around this time of year, I usually make plans to go to the Dominican. I've been there going the last 3 years in a row, but every time there's been some kind of unfortunate situation that I got myself involved in with the locals there, either being just kind of tricked or fooled or ripped off, and this 3 strikes you're out kind of thing, and I've just kind of had enough of that. So basically I just wanted to kind of forewarn people of some of the things that happened to me while I was there. And one of them was just while I was swimming, I left my bag on the beach, and while I was up on the rocks and jumping in, and I really didn't have a sight on my bag, and typically is my fault. I shouldn't have went to the beach with my bag in the first place, and so someone just ran up on the beach and stole pretty much everything that I had. That day I was planning to go on a road trip, so I had everything in my bag, and then I decided against the road trip and just went to the beach quick, and that's all it took. So, I have a hearing problem, so I lost my hearing aids and my phone, my GoPro camera, and some clothing and some money, and amongst a bunch of other different things. At the end of the day with the hearing aids and stuff, it was about a $6,000 loss. And I was there for 14 days at that time, and I still had another month and a half to go. So, but anyway, so yeah, you just gotta be aware of your surroundings and the people that are there, and sometimes they work in groups and things. And so when I came out of the water, it was here I am sitting soaking wet, and I had no keys for my scooter, and I'm sitting there with my sandals. They even took my towel, so I had the wet shorts and a scooter with no key. So no way to get a hold of the rental company or anything. So I asked this Dominican guy on the motorbike, to give me a ride to get the key for the bike, get the spare key. Well, he was driving so slow that it gave me, the idea that potentially someone's going to come back with the key that's on my bag and steal my scooter. So I told Buddy to, speed it up a bit. But lo and behold, we finally got to the rental company, and I got my key, and I came back, and the bike was still there. So of course then I had to pay for a new locking system because now there's a key out there with this bike, and so the rental guy's like, well, we got to change this. So that cost me $75. Unlikely somebody's going to go around with the key and start looking in every bike and see which one it is, but anyways, that's just whatever they can get you with, they'll get you with. Upon returning that same bike, and I had my phone someplace else, but I did have before and after pictures of the bike now, of the scooter. And so I went to return it, and he went all over the bike, and he goes, oh, there's a crack on the lens there. So I'm on my way to the airport already. I ain't got no time to bicker and barter with the guy. So he wanted $75 for this thing. I gave him $100 American. He gave me my $25 back, and on the way to the airport, I looked at my before pictures, and lo and behold, the lens was already cracked. So, yeah, these are my faults, things I should have done diligence with, but at least I had the photographs there, but I just didn't use them in my advantage because I didn't have my phone with me at the time. So certain situations like that where you can easily get burned, and I mean, this adds up over time. It can add up to a lot of money and frustration. And so if I would have lost my passport and things like that too, so you got to really be aware of your surroundings when you're there. I'm not saying that everybody's crooked and they're all looking at you for this or that, but just really understand that this is their country. They're they act and control in a little bit of a different manner, and so if you're going to leave something there, and they just see it as, okay, well, it can't be that important to you if you're just going to leave it there. We'll take it, and they will. So be careful, enjoy yourself. The Dominican is beautiful. It is. I mean, I've got other places to explore now. I've done my time there, and they just put a sour taste in my mouth. So it's time to book it and be good and be safe in the Dominican. That's all I'm going to say. Tony from Canada.
Alright, we've already heard a few foreigners voice their anger about the get the gringo mentality that seems to be widespread down here. Now let's hear what a Dominican has to say about all of this.
Alex, thank you very much for being willing to be on camera here. This video is obviously to support a lot of the foreigners, and I was really eager to get a Dominican on camera to hear your side of the story as a Dominican. One of the things that we've covered in this video is why so many Dominican people, police, lawyers, judges are instantly willing to stick together and victimize the foreigners when things go wrong for us down here, like they can do in any country. But the Dominicans really seem to just jump on board. Let's get the money. What's the psychology behind that?
Whoa. I think about that thing is, if you're coming to visit my country, try to not get involved in any trouble that you can handle. That you have to visit the police station or the lawyer or something like that, because it's a dictator. What I think my own is a dictator. Is everybody's together in one line. It's like a shine. Everyone hang together here. Police, lawyer, government. Everybody's corrupt. Wow. Now here. I don't know what's going to happen later on, but I tell you something. If you come to visit Dominican, it's one safe country. We love to take care of the people. Why? No matter where from come, we take care about these people. But try to don't get problem here, and everything gonna be happy. The problem is this is gonna take a long time, but I'd be so proud to be Dominican with these people now. I want to go away from my country because really, I think my country is go more dangerous and dangerous with the government. This is the real truth.
Also, there's a saying in English, and this goes anywhere in the world. There's a certain type of person that's penny smart, pound stupid. That means whether it's Australia, Brazil, or wherever, there's certain type of people who will fight for the small buck, but forget about the long-term benefit of giving good service, like to tourists, etc. Why is there, in my view here, so many people that are willing to fight hard to get the instant buck, what they can get right now, rather than thinking, well, if I look after this person, then they're going to come back and recommend it to their friends?
Mentality here, I be Dominican, but I really don't understand my mentality right here. I hang on when people like coming to visit my country.
So Alex, what's the difference between, say, the North Coast and down south, like Santo Domingo, if people are making up their mind to either come and visit or to come and live here? What would you recommend, or what's happening?
Come to the North Coast to live. It's more quiet here and more safe. Santo Domingo is safe too, but and different places, because I tell you something, downtown is really dangerous because now the kids lose the control. I mean, the government let the drugs come out, made a blowing mind to control the people. If everybody use drugs here, they have to control the people more and more and get money from police, lawyer, and government. Get money from the drugs here. But the problem is the kids now, they're thinking only about money. They don't think about to make professional stuff, school, nothing like that. Just only want to get money, no matter how. They get gunned for 3,000 pesos, go and kill someone on the street, shoot know who, because it's a kid, they don't go in jail. And the people using these kids now in my country, Santo Domingo, more than another other country. So I say, God, please protect the kid in this country, because the government here is really bullshit. This government is the most bad government I haven't seen my whole life in my country. And I'm 46 years old. I hope these people go from there, for sure. If in 2020 these people still there, the serious people from this country gonna come and fight on the street, because too much corruption. I'm working now, because I don't want to be in the street. I don't want to sell drugs. I don't want to rob. I don't want to get money from you bad. I do bad things before, but I changed my life. I prefer to work, because I see it's the right
thing to do.
The right to do. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and all the very best with you. Strong words. Here we got Michael and Judy from St. Thomas in Ontario. And you just come straight off the plane. And they were wondering whether they were going to bump into me, and you did. And I bumped into you, which I'm even happier with. So thanks for watching, guys. What's your impression of the place so far?
Absolutely love it. It is paradise. It is absolutely paradise. We've been here many times. Haven't been back in about 10 years. So this is our first visit back in 10 years. Since we're retired, we're here for a month, and we absolutely love it.
So you reckon a lot of things have changed here?
So far, yes, I would say many things have changed.
Not so much this strip, though.
Yeah, not here on the Playa Sosua.
No.
It looks pretty much the same,
15, 20 years ago.
Many other things are very built up, and yeah.
So what's the number one reason that you like coming down here?
Climate,
the climate,
minus 35 wind chill back at home. This, you can't touch this. Right on the beach, right on the ocean, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Well, you have a wonderful vacation down here, and thanks for your comments, and thanks for watching.
And thank you for doing what you do.
Cheers. Thank you. All right, folks, that nearly wraps it up for this time. Thank you very much for watching. As the saying goes, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. This video is definitely to encourage people just to come down here a little bit more street smart, so you can get the best out of your vacation. See you down here. Let's take out this skinny little fella. Ah! Come on, give me some resistance.
Oh, you want resistance? Really? Yeah. Really?
Mr. Muscle! That's the size of my thighs.